Okay, so picture a job interview. But forget the stuffy corporate office. The job title is spiritual warrior, the recruiter is a cosmic being, and, well, the fate of souls is kind of hanging in the balance. In this explainer, we're going to break down this really powerful allegory about what it actually takes to fight for the light.
So let's jump right in. Our story starts with a soul named Evan. He steps up, and he's not messing around. He has a very clear, very urgent request. He feels this war raging all around him, and he wants in. This is his application.
Evan finds himself standing before this pretty formidable figure named Lord Blue. You can think of him as the ultimate cosmic recruiter. And his first question isn't about Evan's skills or his experience. Nope, it's the most important question of all. Why are you here?
Now, Evan's first answer is pretty simple. He wants to get rid of the bad guys. But Lord Blue, he sees right through that. He pushes Evan to go deeper. And it turns out Evan's real motivation comes from this deep sense of frustration, this desperate need to do something, to actually push back against the darkness he sees swallowing up the world.
I mean, on paper, Evan's resume is fantastic. He's clearly done the work, he's studied wisdom, he gets the difference between positive and negative energy, he's practiced all these virtues. But Lord Blue points out something crucial. Being wise and being good, well, that makes you a good person, not necessarily a warrior. Evan's passion comes from realizing that one person alone, no matter how good, can't win this. He needs to be part of an organized army.
So this is where the interview takes a really interesting turn. Lord Blue sees the potential in Evan, so he throws him a new challenge. He says, "All right, if you were in charge of this army, what would you do?" The test just shifted. It's not about being a soldier anymore, it's about thinking like a general. And step one is always, know your enemy's playbook.
And Evan just nails it. He sees that the enemy's strategy is way more insidious than just brute force. First, they promote ignorance, right? Make it so people don't even realize there's a war going on. Then they promote immorality, which gets souls to misuse their own energy, basically handing the enemy ammunition. And finally, they promote foolishness, disguising things like addiction as freedom to make everyone weak and easy to control.
So Evan has clearly identified the problem. He gets it. But Lord Blue pushes him further. He wants to hear Evan's solution. How would General Evan actually fight back against all this?
To fight ignorance, Evan lays out this incredible light offensive. It's not just about arguing with lies, it's about building a whole new infrastructure for truth. He talks about creating soul schools for education, linking up with higher beings to raise the planet's energy, and even calling in tactical spiritual strikes on enemy strongholds with the help of spotters on the ground.
And his plan to counter immorality is just as strategic. He says it's not enough to just be a good person. No, in this war, virtues like self-control and honesty have to become active weapons. You're not just being honest, you're wielding honesty as a force to push back the darkness.
So as you can imagine, Evan has completely crushed this interview. He's proven his why, he understands the enemy, and he has a solid strategic vision. He's getting the job. But the offer comes with a pretty massive catch. And there it is. Lord Blue delivers the news. The council has voted. Just like that, Evan went from applicant to general. It's this incredible moment of victory, right? The power he wanted seems to finally be his.
And what's the first thing you'd ask if you were him? Exactly. He's ready to go, ready to lead. He asks, "Where are my troops?"
And this is the moment the floor drops out from under him. The army? Oh, it doesn't exist yet. His very first mission as a general is to go down to Earth and build his own army from scratch.
So, why the huge catch? Why make it so hard? Well, it all boils down to the #1 absolute supreme rule of the cosmos, the law of free will. Higher powers, no matter how mighty they are, will not interfere without permission. The authority has to come from the souls who are actually living on the battlefield.
So the rules of engagement here are incredibly strict. A warrior on the ground, like Evan, can absolutely call for air support, things like protection for the innocent or sending inspiration to those who are lost. But what they can never do is override someone else's free will. The moment you force someone to do the right thing, you become a dictator, no different from the enemy.
And this is how the enemy gets away with so much. Lord Blue explains their sneaky tactic. They don't get their hands dirty. They just whisper, they influence, they tempt souls who are vulnerable. Then the human does the bad deed, and the human takes all the blame, while the real puppeteer just fades back into the shadows.
So naturally, Evan's next question is, okay, no army yet. What about weapons? At least give me something to fight with.
And the answer to this question is the final and maybe the most profound lesson of this whole interview.
But nope, Lord Blue shuts that down too. He explains that there are cosmic safety rules. You can't just hand over super powerful spiritual tools. A warrior's arsenal isn't waiting in some weapons locker. It has to be forged from within. Every soul has to discover and build their own mystic weapons.
So what does this energy even look like? Well, think of sunlight. It can be a gentle, warm glow, or it can be a focused laser beam that can cut through steel. Spiritual energy is just like that. It's this living, intelligent force that a warrior can shape with their intention into almost anything: a protective shield, a piercing arrow of truth, or a huge tidal wave of cleansing light. But, and this is a huge but, you can't just go around flinging energy everywhere. Wielding this power takes incredible discipline. A warrior has to know where their energy is coming from. Is it their ego or their higher self? They have to understand its color, control its intensity, and most important of all, they have to give it a very clear, very specific purpose. Which brings us to the final, ultimate revelation. After all this talk about armies and enemies and cosmic battlefields, Lord Blue drops the biggest truth bomb of the entire story. The war. It isn't happening out there. The primary front line is, and always has been, right inside of you.
So that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? General Evans' first mission was to go down to Earth and recruit an army. But if the real war is inside each of us, then the first and most important soldier you ever have to recruit is yourself. The question is, what's the first step you'd take to get yourself to sign up?